Racing is life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
Hello and welcome everybody to the SFRGT Challenge Grand Finals here at Barcelona. I'm your host, Mike Nause. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. We have a championship on the line here. And what is on the line for that championship, you ask, of course? Well, it's going to be $100 USD. Brought to you, of course, by Coach Dave Academy as well as Sim Staff. More on that in a minute. But also, of course, the top three in the standings also all getting a top-notch setup bundle from Coach Dave Academy. Special thank you to them as well. As we said, this is it. This is the final round. It's been a long lead up here. We started 7 rounds ago back in Kyalami. Of course, we missed last round, unfortunately, on the stream, but the race did happen. Now, I'm not sure the drivers are happy or sad that I missed that race, due to the fact that there was a little bit of bumping and a little bit of banging, and that might be a bit of an understatement. Now, lots of carnage. I saw some highlights in the Discord. It wasn't quite what you wanted to see. Regardless, we're here at a nice dry track here at Barcelona for the final here to kick it off. You can see the lovely track there ahead in front of you. As we have it, I see we have some people in chat. We have Diane Doozy, we have Darnella, welcome, some Vinicius Doozy support, our championship leader. Excuse me, no he's not, my apologies. Albert Trangisi currently leading the championship. More on that though in a minute. Of course, big shout out to our sponsors, as I mentioned briefly there before, Coach Dave Academy as well as SimGrid. And a special thank you as well to Sim Staff, our newest sponsor, is a digital powerhouse staffing solution for digital motorsports, sim racing, and esports. Whether your brand seeks short-term freelance professionals, full-time contracted experts, or top-tier technical support, we've got you covered over at simstaff.net. Links are in the description, of course. Why don't we head on into this session here? Or rather, excuse me, take a look at the standings, as I meant to say. The standings, of course, what we're going to be seeing here in the future. This is, of course, the battle at hand. Albert Tranghese and Vinicius Duzzi tight in the championships. Now, we can also pull up here, just briefly, it's kind of crude, but you can see what the points distribution is. So there's 6 points separating P1 and P2. Now, that's not going to be enough. Vinicius Duzzi, he needs more than a win here tonight. He needs Trango to not perform well, but there's 2 races, though, tonight. That is going to be the one difference, of course. We have a 30-45 doubleheader ahead of us here tonight with 1 mandatory pit stop in each, where the drivers are going to be fixed 25 seconds, and mandatory to take fuel. Tires will be optional. Now, here in the 30-minute race, I'm not sure we're going to see too many tires. In the 45, that's always up in the air. It's always the debate. Do you take tires? Do you not take tires? The real question will be for this young man right here, this 12-year-old driver, Vinicius Duzzi. And my goodness, an absolute, just dominant figure so far in terms of this championship. Has really kept Albert Tranghese, the current leader, on his toes. As Albert wasn't leading for most of this championship, he definitely managed to pick it up here at the end. He had a very good result in Monza, finishing in P2, Vinicius in 6th. Now, the race winner at Monza was Ricardo Rivera, managing to drop back here. Let's see, is Ricardo joining us here tonight? Ricardo, only in for 2 races this time around. We have 12 drivers in the field. Ricardo not with us here tonight, unfortunately, the Puerto Rican driver. But as we have it, of course, these drivers lapping right now. The current pole position held by Vinicius Duzzi by a significant margin. And yes, you can clearly see that. Just over 2 seconds, or just under 2 seconds, excuse me, is the current separation. Joey Raymer not quite able with a response just yet in that McLaren Evo. The Nameless Racing. I'm not mistaken. Now, I don't... Oh, my goodness. Chase Wright closing up there on a SOT driver very quickly. I was informed, was it Joey Raymer? I think it was, that the Nameless Racing will be fighting this week for... Or I thought the livery would be fighting for Depression. I'm not sure if I did manage to get that livery or not. This livery looks like I didn't quite get downloaded properly, which is really unfortunate. I was looking forward to seeing that one. Joey Raymer pulling over to the side here to let other drivers through. That's Jace Wright, along with the likes of Fabiano Rousseau. Jay Davis in the Nameless. Oh, Michael Gravelle, he was the one. And I do not have the Mental Trap Racing. I'm not sure I have the proper liveries here. Lovely color schemes regardless. But fighting for Depression here tonight. A great message that I think is lost in today's society. Follow Mike everywhere you go. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you, buddy. And very, very close, Darnell, up at the top. Wait, what was it? Hold on. We gotta look again here. I can math. 7 points. I was right. Oh, I had to second guess myself. 7 points separating Vinicius Duzzi and Albert Tranghese. So, Albert Tranghese, if he can get the race win here tonight in race 1, he'll be pretty comfortable. But with 2 races on the line, anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. Now, of course, only 12 drivers in the field, meaning if there is a calamity, well, it may not be the end of the world. We have it, though. 6 minutes left in qualifying. Albert Tranghese looking for the lap of his life here. What does he have? He has a few more laps left to go, of course. But let's follow along with him for one. Albert Tranghese heading down towards the first few corners. Now, it's a chicane complex. Very tricky and easy to extend the track limits. Late braking there as you try to go down the inside of the curb. Easy to unsettle the car here on the second part of the apex. Very nicely done, though, from the 296 driver. And now the ever so patient Renault corner. As you wait to get on the corner, flat out now, heading down towards the Repsol. Late on the brakes, braking just after the billboard. And now the very awkward complex of seat left-hander here, just trying to chuck it in. Back onto the throttle for a very awkward left-hander now, and this is I'm very much enjoying this sector here. It's all about precision here. Oh, and Albert Tranghisi, not precise at all. Ends up overcooking it. It's very easy to do, to overdo that corner, as you have to really, it's a misleading corner. You have to carry a lot less speed than you initially expect. The golden boy. Yes, indeed, the golden boy, Vinicius Doozy. Can he earn that title, though, tonight? That is the question. $100 USD on the line. Now, for Vinicius, I gotta say, a 12-year-old driver. A, I'm not sure the logistics of that. B, just incredible job so far. It is, I mean, extremely rapid, extremely clean, very entertaining driver to watch in general, and loads of support as well from the community. Big shout out to all of the Brazilian viewers out there. Thank you guys so much. Now, the golden boy coming around the final corner. He is down on his lap, but he has a few more chances to get this right. He still is on pole position, and by quite a margin, it is to be said. Albert Tranghisi is going to need a barnstormer of a lap to answer. Thing I said before, though, is Albert, he can be comfortable here with a P2. He needs, although if he finishes P2 in both races, well, that will be it. And I think this might be the end of his qualifying. He needs to get out on track very, very soon here. Fabiano Rousseau, his sister car of Vinicius Doozy, currently sitting in P5, the SOT driver, Spirit Onyx team. Trying to catch up, really, with Vinicius. Vinicius just on another level, and I know I've seen Fabiano Rousseau in other leagues. He is up there, and especially with the likes here. Jace Wright, another driver that is to be said. We'll see how Jace's pace manages in the coming months, as of course he has a little bit of an upgrade coming his way, moving away from the controller and heading on to a steering wheel. But for now, you can see he's still the controller king. Although I bet it will be quite the learning curve from Jace. Although it is to be said, it's all the principle of driving, knowing how to place the car, knowing the principles of trail braking, knowing what an apex is, how to take an apex, when to get on the throttle. Now, it might be a little bit different for Jace when he moves over to the pedals and wheel, as of course you're basically driving a car like a motorbike when you're using a gamepad. But Jace managing it, and managing it with the likes of the best here. As Jace stands, why don't we take a look once again here at the standings. Jace currently sitting in P4 in the standings behind Joey Raymer. Now that is the difference between a top-notch CDA bundle, and it is reasonable. Now Joey Raymer needs to have a pretty abysmal 2 races, but with 2 races, it is going to be extremely hard to call the championship. But up at the front, though, that is the battle we are all looking for, of course. As Jace Wright comes around the final corner here. Starts his final lap. Vinicius in. Albert in, and Joey Raymer all in. They are all calling it quits. P1, 2, and 3. Are they sealed? Jace Wright, what does he have to put onto the table? Jace Wright. Also, Fabiano Rousseau, actually. You know, we're going to follow with Fabiano as he's going to be coming to the corner now. Jace, not the greatest Sector 1. Coming now through the final Of course, the track at its maximum rubber. Fabiano Russo to the line, stays P5. Still an improvement. Oh, he sets another lap. Excuse me, the checkered flag hasn't fallen yet. Ugh. All right, we're moving on. Jace Wright, he is going to be the first one to catch the checkered flag, and that's it. P4 it will be for the Controller King. And Rousseau down to 10th through the first few corners. Trailing on the likes of Jace by about 2/10, about 3/10 actually. So needing some time. Fabiano going to be behind the likes of the number 14. That's going to be Anthony Macho Man Camacho. But the next to the line will be the number 74 of Fikri Asghar. First driver to take the checkered flag here tonight. What is it going to be? A little bit deep. And through the final chicane. Very tricky chicane. The Indonesian driver to the line. What is it gonna be? Still not enough to gain on the likes of Gravelle there, but just about 3/10 or 4/10 off the likes. Mike, very much, stranded in the gravel trap. I was gonna say he's also on a lap, but that's it. Anthony Macho Man Camacho to the line with no improvement, finishes in P8. And that's gonna call our qualifying. Now, as we head on over towards... Oh, that's so loud. I should have turned that down. Whoops. As we head back to the track map here momentarily, of course, as we wait for the session to roll on over. Vinicius Duzzi taking pole position with Albert Tranghisi in second, Joey Raymer in third, Jace Wright fourth, and Fabiano Russo in fifth. Of course, more on that in a moment. When we head on over, we will meet all of our drivers. For now, there we go, much better. We have some lovely beats here by Chris Lorande. Where's Chris Lorande over on, I almost said, yes, it is SoundCloud, yes. It's not, wait, yes, SoundCloud. My apologies, Chris. But yes, Chris Lorande Alpha over on SoundCloud. Lovely first qualifying, though. Of course, we have two races here tonight. It's a 30-45 doubleheader, so plenty of action to go. It's going to be a 30-minute race. We have first up, then we'll have another 20-minute qualifying, maybe, or 17-minute qualifying. And then we will have, of course, our another 45-minute race. One mandatory pit stop in both. And it looks like the session should be rolling over here soon enough. Nato Flo, welcome. Kuna da Silva, welcome. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you all in chat. Thank you everyone for hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button. Of course, it is free here over at YouTube. Also, thank you to our sponsors. Of course, we have $100 on the line from Chris Dave, as well as thank you to SimStaff. Did I say Coach Dave? Thank you to SimStaff, as well as thank you to SimGrid. We head on into the session here. We can see the lovely Catalunya is your home. Of course, Barcelona-Catalunya. I probably mispronounced the heck out of that. Apologies. Located, though, in the Catalunya region of Spain. Or Barcelona, I suppose. The Barcelona in Spain. 16 corners, 9 to the right, 7 to the left. We have 12 drivers on the grid here tonight. Why don't we get in here and meet our drivers as we have it? Of course, starting off in P1, it's the golden boy himself, Vinicius Duzzi, the number 25 Spirit Onyx team driver. Up next, of course, on the front row is Albert Tranghisi in the Tranghisi-designed number 1, the previous champion, battling it for the championship once again here tonight. at the final race at Barcelona. Joey Raymer taking P3 in the number 76 Nameless Racing on the Fight for Depression here tonight. Great message behind the Nameless team. Also, Jace Wright in the Fuchsia Competition Esports in P4. Fabiano Rousseau bringing up 5th position, the number 78 SOT driver in the 4th row. Also behind that, Jay Davis in P6, the number 8 McLaren Evo 2 in the Nameless Michael Gravelli Tribute, with Marco Saldana in P7, the 111 Rockefeller Racing driver, with Anthony Macho Man Camacho Company in row 4, bringing up P8 in the Audi. The lone Audi on the grid here tonight for the S&B Racing, with Colin Sugg in P9. The number 34 AMG Slug Racing, Devin Anthony in P10. The number 664 Devin Smallblock Anthony in the Rockefeller Racing McLaren. The car's underway here. Michael Gravelli in P11, the number 30 driver. And bringing up last but not least, this is going to be the Indonesian driver of Fikri Azka in the Lamborghini Evo 2. The drivers all underway for their outlap here tonight. Of course, this track, a beautiful, beautiful track. 2.9 miles, but made back in 1993. The chicane, current layout that we use, back from 2016. Now, if I'm not mistaken, of course, the chicane was removed from the Formula 1 circuit, but of course GT cars still using it. The knife, or the tension, could be cut here with a knife on the grid, I would imagine. Vinicius Duzzi and Albert Tranghisi. Albert Tranghisi trying to defend, go back-to-back with his championship wins. Can he manage it? He needs to deliver P1 both times. Vinicius Duzzi, the challenger, the golden boy from Brazil. What does he have on the cards here tonight as we have our outlap underway and unfolding? Nato, support for the whole SOT team, both Dornales in chat. Wait, oh, excuse me. Well, Dornales, I think, in the team as well. But, I don't know. Anyways, we have the SOT driver, of course, of Vinicius Duzzi, as well as Fabiano Rousseau. Now, let's take a look at our championship one more time before we get underway here tonight, as this is what the drivers are on the line. And once again, $100 USD for P1. Albert Tranghisi leading. Now, you see that rookie next to Vinicius' name. Don't let that fool you. That is just the sim grid rating. That can be a little bit silly sometimes. Vinicius is no rookie. He may only be 12. He's only 12 years old. So, I mean, you know, give or take, depending on what your definition of rookie is, yeah, he's a rookie at everything. But Vinicius, regardless, incredible driver, has shown it here in this league, especially with the fact that he has missed 3 races. You can see there. What's the word? I've forgotten the word as the drivers are lining up now. But 3 in a row. Not a turkey. That's not, I mean, yes it is, but that's not the word I'm looking, what is the word I'm looking for? Hat trick, that's the one. How did I forget that word? All right, let's hydrate as the drivers are coming around for the final time here. Now, as we get ready to go underway, 30 minutes on the clock. Vinicius Duzzi in P1. Albert Tranghisi in P2. I'm Mike Nause in the booth as we get ready to go green, green, green here at Barcelona. We're heading now down to the first chicane. It's going to be a smashing start for Vinicius as he gets underway handedly. Now behind, side by side from Jace Wright and Joey Raymer down to the first chicane. Who is going to take it? It's a long drag race down. Looks like the McLaren having the advantage for right now. As we go late on the brakes, you can see nicely done for the Fuchsia on the... What a overtake there for the Lamborghini. Jace Wright, absolutely savage, gets it done. Fabiano Rousseau managing to make up a position there, lose a position, then make it back up. Jay Davis falling down the grid there quite a bit. The McLaren of Joey Raymer also down into P4. Now Jace Wright, can he make up a position on Albert Tranghisi? Coming around the right-hander of turn 3, heading into the very tricky complex. Not the easiest track to overtake on here. Oh, did I see some bumping and banging? Oh, there I most certainly did. cars having a bit of a concertina, but everybody managing so far. Jay Davis on the charge, but with Devin Smallblock Anthony creeping on your tail. Where do you look? Do you look ahead? Do you look behind? Coming through this sector, you most certainly better be looking ahead, as it is very tough to make any look at all. Oh, the polystyrene getting smashed everywhere. Looks like Albert Tranghisi is down into P4 as well. Battling now with Fabiano Rousseau. There's contact. This is massive for the championship. For Albert Tranghisi dropping down, going backwards all the way down to P6, resuming side by side, eager to get back into the fight. Of course, fighting for the championship is Trango, and he has lost all the way down to P7. Now, can we catch any replay of this? We see Tranghisi goes wide on the first lap here. That was an unforced error, if I'm not mistaken, and he resumes side by side there with the SOT driver. And you can see that's just a bit of, I mean, from that angle, I have no idea what happened. But the concertina effect happening. Our current championship leader by 7 points has dropped all the way down to P7. That is going to be just devastating. Albert Tranghisi going to be seeing red after that. Side by side now with Jay Davis. You can see he is pushing that 296. The back end stepping out as he just tries to get onto the throttles so eagerly. Now up to P6, he has managed. Anthony Macho Man Camacho, though, battling with Joey Raymer. He's not going to let this position go either. He has his own championship fight. Now, of course, I don't think Anthony is really in any sort of contention for a podium position in the finishing, but every point matters. Anthony Macho Man Camacho managing to stay a good bit ahead here of Tranghisi so far. Tranghisi, though, definitely with the pace. Now, Vinicius Duzzi, 3.9 seconds ahead of Jace Wright. Jace Wright, 4.7. This is getting more and more difficult every single second that Albert Tranghisi is stuck behind this pack. Albert, no slouch of a driver. He's been putting in the work. The few interviews we've had with him, of course, dropped in the Discord every now and then. Great guy. He has been putting in a lot of practice and really trying to take the challenge. Back to Vinicius Duzzi. He clearly saw when Duzzi came into the championship that he was a force to be reckoned with and that he needed to up his game to maintain his standings. And he has. In all fairness, Albert has upped his game completely. Now, here in race 1, though, tonight in the finals, it is to be said he is falling backward, or has already fell backwards. And with a recovery drive ahead of him, it'll be a miracle if he can make up P2, which he sort of needs. If he can make up P2, he can hold the lead of the championship into the next race. But if he finishes P3, he will be going into the race, final race on the back foot. Now, of course, I know that is what all of Brazil wants to be hearing, as Vinicius Duzzi would be taking the lead of that championship. The Spirit Onyx team driver. And my goodness, that would be an incredible story. Side by side, I missed it, of course, as soon as I look away. Anthony Camacho, I'm not sure if he made a mistake there, but falling into the grips of Albert Tranghisi. Defending, though, Albert needs to be cautious into this sector, think better of an overtake, and he does. As we've seen in many, many final races, of course. In fact, I'm not sure if anyone in chat is a MotoGP fan that happened to watch the Valencia race and MotoGP, where we watched that amazing championship battle come down to the final race. And of course, it was discretion that wasn't the better part of valor for some drivers, and Albert goes wide, and that's allowing Jay Davis through. Now, Jay Davis, he knows that Tranghisi is in the lead for this championship, but he does not care. He is a fight for his own. He can make up a podium spot here, finish with a CDA Coach Dave top-notch bundle setup. That is what is on the line here tonight for these drivers. Joey Raymer battling with Jace Wright in that. Jace Wright currently sitting in P2. Now it seems that has been quelled for now. Of course, we have 24 minutes on the clock left to go. These drivers have been driving like it's a sprint race. Also, great job, it is to be said here from Fikri Azka, making up ground, starting in the back of the grid up to P9. The Indonesian driver showing some great improvement in this championship. Now also, of course, Devin Anthony, another driver, it is to be said, who qualified extremely well, not quite showing it though in the race here tonight. As the drivers all managing to go fairly nip and tuck for right now, holding their aggression, you may say, which, yes, fair enough. These drivers pushing each other to the absolute limit can only go so far. Now, Albert Trangisi in the slipstream. This looks fairly cut and dry, but even into the first chicane can be a challenge. And you can see there, Albert not able to get it done again. And that is just more and more time he is losing to Vinicius. Vinicius now, was 7th. Okay, still is 8. What has happened to Jace? 10 seconds behind now. Something happened to Jace, right? He overcooked a corner. But as they continue on here, side by side momentarily, Albert got to be getting a bit impatient. But he's showing it well. Not going for anything too rash, too bold. Containing his emotions for now. It is getting, though, winding down. There still is one mandatory pit stop, of course. You can see some drivers have taken their pit stops already. The number 1 next to their name, well, minus Strangisi. Oh, man, he had the overtake. Overcooks it, though, and now all that hard work is done. Albert needs to calm down, get that red mist out of his eyes, and head down, focus on here. 21 minutes left, still plenty of time to catch up. He can at least recover a P3 out of this. Is Joey Raymer keeping Fabiano Rousseau quite honest? Slipstream down the straight, but no beans. And the McLaren, of course, one of the fastest cars in a straight line. Oh no, yellow flag, Albert Trangisi, and massive, massive damage for the championship leader. What has happened here? Albert into the first chicane, has a look. Oh, and he has overcooked it massively. He does a good job of getting out of the way there, not collecting the Macho Man. But that is a sad sight to be seen here in race 1. To answer your question, Jelson. Tonight, Albert Trangisi, that is going to require him to pit. No doubt. Might even be given a meatball flag for that one. But as I was saying, a bit of a Valencia-esque performance here from real life in MotoGP being displayed here tonight. Now at the back of the grid, this is a battle for P last currently, but now both these drivers have made their pit stop. Marco Saldana and Devin Anthony having a bit of a bout. We'll follow along with this for now, as this can be quite interesting. Marco Saldana. Deep into the corner, but trying to find any little weakness he can from Devin Anthony. So far, not finding any chinks in the armor just yet. But sticking with him as well, that's going to be important. Now, these two, they need to work together at the end of the day. They battle. They're both Rockefeller Racing teammates, though, and I think, oh, man, there's no team orders being displayed, though, and that is very, very clear. Now, let's have a look further up here. Joey Raymer and Fabiano Rousseau. Into Sector 2. He is on the chase, but not able to really flag down the likes of Fabiano for that podium. And pop on board here with Joey. Get a little first-hand account of the McLaren. Stop, go 30. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Does Joey Raymer... Well, let's stay on board here with Joey. This is what the pit entry looks like. And he is most certainly getting that pit limiter on in time. You can see using automatic pit limiter, but he was very conservative on his entry. Albert Tranghisi, driving with a hot head, has picked up a stop, go 30. Now, I don't want to blame it directly to that, but I would imagine that heavily influenced it. Also, the damaged car probably didn't help. This is a race to forget for Albert, and he doesn't want to be saying that in the final race in a deciding championship battle. Brazil is going to be on its feet, though. Back to the little battle from the two McLarens here. That basically means that Albert Tranghisi's race is over in race 1. Luckily, he has a race 2 to make up. Now, dropping, though, of course, quite a few points. He's going to need a bit of a miracle, to be completely honest. Albert, his championship hopes definitely dwindling. Not out of it. With the finish here, he can... he needs Vinicius to finish last in the next race. I mean, realistically, that's what needs to happen. He needs a repeat, or he needs Vinicius to lose it. This race is not over yet. Let's not count anything out. Of course, there's still 16 minutes and 9 seconds left. Vinicius, anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. Though we haven't seen him put a wheel wrong too many times, it is to be said. Quite the exciting battle here between these two Rockefeller Racing teammates. Uh-oh. Jay Davis. What has happened to Jay Davis on the final few corners? We pop in the replay here. Oh, he has bottomed out on the curb and almost parked himself into pit lane, having to take to the kitty litter and rejoins into the pits. It's a struggle for some drivers. Now, Jay Davis in the fight for the podiums, not going to be helpful there. We see Marco Saldana, big send up the inside, but no beans. Albert Tranghisi rejoins the track, penalty free. Green to go to the end. Though I do not think he is going to be the happiest driver out there tonight. At least not yet. Once again, uh-oh. Oh no, this is just okay. Exiting pit lane is Fabiano Rousseau and Anthony Macho Man Camacho. Oh man, Marco Saldana all over the back of his teammate. They've gotten ahead of Jay Davis. That is absolutely catastrophic for Jay. Michael Gravelle out of the pits. Marco Saldana, closest battle on track. The one to keep an eye on. We're seeing a lot of our drivers take their stops here with 13 minutes left to go. Doozy staying out, Jace Wright also, and so is, no, never mind, Colin Sugg is in. Now, of course, this is race 1 of 2, everybody. This is the 30-45 doubleheader tonight. So next race being 45 minutes, plenty of action to go for these drivers. As we stand, though, a bit of a separation happening, but Anthony keeping Fabiano honest. As he falls out of the slipstream, though, Colin Sugg not going to be able to get up to speed in time there. Going to fall quite a bit back behind, down to P9, behind the likes of Marco Saldana. Marco still behind Devin Anthony. Those two, you can't separate them. As I think it was the Nirvana song that once said, you need to keep them separated, but these two, well, I don't think they have heard that song before. Exclamation mark. Curse. They are now separated. They have heard the Nirvana song, it turns out, folks. Marco Saldana deciding that that was a nice little patch to take a minor picnic. Rejoins without much issue. Jay Davis coming back out on track. I'm not sure why. But serving a second stop. Very interesting. Vinicius Doozy has made his one mandatory stop tonight clean and done. He's green to go to the end. And that is, well, not the news that Tranghese wanted to hear, I think. Tranghese hoping he would at least get a stop-go 30 penalty, minimize the damage to some extent. But there is no way around it here. We can take a look at the standings real quick, or at least the points distribution. So Vinicius going to be awarded a solid 55 points here tonight. Albert finishing in P12, which he may finish in P11. But let's say for the sake of it, he finishes P12 with 19 points. A solid 35 points separating the two. That is going to be a very tough one to come back from. You can see he's leading currently heading into this race at 304 points, 7 points above the likes of Vinicius Doozy in P2, of course, with 297. And Joey Raymer, who is not having a good race himself. No, excuse me, Joey Raymer, as Jay Davis is not. My apologies. Joey Raymer is doing splendid. He's looking great for that P3. Jace Wright is looking even better, though. He's with that P2. And a bit of a margin between the two. We'll see if he can catch up there. But the real eyes are going to be on Albert next. Well, Albert's going to do what he can. At the end of the day, he can finish P1, and it might not be enough. He needs a big error out of the Golden Boy. But I think here in this race tonight, we may see why he has earned the title of that Golden Boy. Vinicius Doozy, the 12-year-old Brazilian driver with support from his family, with support from a lot of people in chat, of course, a lot of community members from SOT, the Spiridonix team, and they have supported him the entire way through his career. I have no idea how long his sim racing career has been, but, well, it can't be too long, as I know some people's sim racing careers have been longer than I've been alive, so that is saying something. Nice three-way bout. Fikri Azka on the climb from the field, it is to be said. Started, I think, all the way in P last. Has made up 6 positions from 12th. Looking strong to answer now. Maybe make it a 7th. Anthony Macho Man Camacho. Currently 5th and in the way. Lamborghini. Wow, okay. I was going to say, it's a bold one if you go for it. As the corner there, definitely that would have been Fikri's fault if there was a collision. The nature of that corner not quite warranting too many overtaking opportunities. Possible, if you have enough confidence. Even I'd say I'd rather go around the outside there, to be completely honest. Try to outbrake the opponent. Inside line's a bit bold. Nicely done from both drivers. Anthony goes on to the curbs, lights his tires up, and has a bit of a spin, manages to catch it. Fikri says, I can do that too, and it does. So both drivers taking less than ideal lines, dropping about a 1.5 seconds to Fabiano Rousseau. Here we are, though. Marco Saldana trying to make the overtake finally. It's been about 20 minutes in the coming, and he finally... Oh, no, and there's a tap. Devin Anthony has sent Marco Saldana around. Let's go back and watch that in full here. So Marco in the back in the Rockefeller Racing McLaren. Both of them, of course, sister cars here tonight. Marco with an incredible run. Having a look into the left-hand corner. Has a good run indeed. Makes the line. Kind of runs Devin out of track. And hits the curb. I don't even think Devin made... I'm not sure if Devin made contact there or not, but almost looks self-inflicted. Stop go 20 from Marco Saldana. No idea how you get that. That'll need to be served in the next 3 laps, though. But chat, does anyone know how you get a stop go 20? I don't think I've ever heard of that before. And I don't think we have live stewarding. Am I missing something? Do we have live stewarding here? I don't think we do. Well, regardless, stop go 20 being given. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about stewarding. I was just reading through the brief there, but don't see anything. Fikri, nicely done. Anthony, not much of an answer. Can he come back, though, through the next sector? Bit too far behind. Jace Wright, our race leader, still yet to make a pit stop. He needs to do that within the next, well, very soon, next 5 minutes. He's the only driver yet to do so. But Anthony Macho Man Camacho is the battle to keep an eye on. We can hop on board with the Audi. Hear that lovely 5.2 liter V10 roar. A bit of a hesitation. Double stab at the throttle there. It's not uncommon through that corner. Not optimal, but not uncommon. As the Audi obviously trying to deliver 585 brake horsepower to those rear wheels. Very tricky to do so. Wow, late on the brakes, onto the grass as well. Rather lucky, went early on the brakes. The Audi also one of the heavier cars in terms of the GT racing, and I know a lot of people are saying, what are you talking about? Well, actually, most cars in the GT3 class weighing around the 275 pound, or excuse me, 2,750 pound mark, and maybe into the 2,900, you're pushing it. And the Audi, 2,910, actually one of the heaviest cars on the grid. I'm trying to find one that is heavier. I don't think there is. Is the Audi the heaviest car on the grid? Interesting. Even heavier than the Bentley. at least in terms of racing spec. According to the websites that they, all of the cars are manufactured from, the Audi weighs more than a Bentley. Today I learned. I'm not sure if there's like a Zuka Vinod chilling in chat maybe that knows everything, or Zuka or Vadik. Either of you two are both absolute wizards. I'm not sure if you're lurking around in chat and can enlighten me on whether or not that's true. I mean, it is. I would assume it's true. I don't see why the websites would lie. I can't think of any manufacturer that would lie about their cars. Never. Definitely not. Not going to name any names, but Jace Wright here in the Audi has made his stop. Vinicius leads the way, heading on to what is going to be the penultimate lap, presumably? No, definitely not. What am I talking about? He's got 2 more laps to go. B Creep trying to make up P4. We'll see if he can do it. Has, like I say, been driving the wheels off this Lamborghini, doing a superb job, making the positions up. I think, I mean, it is to be said, like obviously starting at the back of the grid, no easy feat. Lapping 1:45.6 last time around. Now that is on par with our with Joey Raymer, to be completely honest. Joey Raymer about 0.6 quicker than that, so, you know, the pace definitely is showing there. That is why there is that difference, but still holding their own, the Indonesian driver. Pretty sure I've said that 3 different times, or 3 different ways each time I've tried it now. Dang Europeans polluting the brain. Also, one thing I am noticing as well, very unfortunately, we saw the drop there from the likes of our current champion, Albert Tranghisi, or our previous champion, Albert Tranghisi. So, no points being picked up in this round for Albert. That almost assuredly is going to be the difference. Vinicius, I think, is going to be crowned champion. Now, it's too early to say that. But Vinicius would need a DNF, and Albert would need a win in the next race. That is the only possible way we can see the championship change. Still possible. So it's not over yet. But Vinicius Duzzi has led every lap. Fastest lap in the race. Fastest lap in qualifying. I've said this time and time again. And I feel like the more races I watch of Vinicius Duzzi, and I certainly hope to watch more in the future, I definitely think we will be seeing this driver in the esports scene sooner or later. At 12 years old. Speechless. Honest. 12 years old. Absolute dominance. The golden boy. Just soak in the screen time, to be honest, at this point, as he has earned it. Vinicius Duzzi with just a few more corners to go of race 1 here tonight. Moving on into race 2, will be quite confident. Vinicius Duzzi rounds the final corner of race 1. 30 minutes down, 45 to go. Vinicius Duzzi crosses, though, in P1 here tonight. Really setting the gap in the championship standings. Jace Wright to the line up next. 23 seconds behind. True dominance it is to be said. The Fuchs Competition Esports, though. Next up, Jace, the controller king right, comes across the line. Joey Raymer, also with his championship hunt, looking strong for the P3. Well, no, he's not, excuse me. Battling with Jace Wright for that. We'll take a look here at the championship in a moment. But that will decide that. We have a big pack of cars coming up here very soon. We will see them come across the line. Fabiano Rousseau, 4th position. Fikri Azka, a lovely 5th. It is to be said, great job from the Indonesian driver. Anthony Macho Man Camacho with a valiant 6th. Devin Anthony in 7th. Colin Sugg in 8th. Michael Gravelle in 9th. Jay Davis in P10. Marco Saldana in 11th. Albert Tranghisi in 12th. And Jelson Cruz going to be joining us for the next race. As we have it, we are going to take a little bit of a break. And before we head on into the next session, but don't go anywhere, folks. We will resume in about 5 minutes' time, I would say. Maybe we'll give it about 6 minutes. We'll say we're going to resume here in 6 minutes' time. I didn't put a timer up there. I'll get the timer up, though. Don't worry. But yes. And welcome back, everybody. Hope you all had a lovely, or enjoyed those beats there by Chris Laronde, of course, over on SoundCloud. I'm Mike Nause back in the booth. We have qualifying currently underway, and what a race one we had. We're just going to quickly go over that real quick. Of course, we just saw an absolute travesty unfold. Albert Tranghese has the world on his shoulders if he wants to take the championship here tonight. Vinicius Nause has set himself up beautifully to take this, the Brazilian driver. Now, of course, why is the championship so important, you ask? Because, of course, it is just all pride, right? No, it is more than just pride, actually, here tonight. Not only is there pride on the line, there's $100 USD cash, and of course, also all podium finishers, due to their efforts, will receive a full top-notch setup bundle brought to you by Coach Dave Academy. Link in the description if you guys are interested in picking up their most recent bundles. They just had their entire drop. It's an incredible deal. If you guys are interested, check out Coach Dave Academy. Also, of course, massive shout out to SimStaff, our most recent sponsor. Thank you guys so much for jumping on board. Of course, SimStaff is a global powerhouse for staffing solutions in the world of digital motorsports, sim racing, and esports. Whether your brand seeks short-term, freelance, professional, full-time, or contracted experts, or top-tier technical support, we've got you covered. Definitely head on over to simstaff.net if you guys are interested, if any of that suits you, hosting real-life events, sim events, or whatnot. They are your people, amazing people over there. As we head on, though, back down towards the session now, we take a look at our pole sitter. Well, currently, yes, our pole sitter, Vinicius Nause, once again, starting off strong, and really, can anyone else deliver? That's going to be the question. The 142.4, I think it's, I don't even think we've seen the likes of Albert reach the 142s just yet. So Albert already starting off on the back foot tonight. Especially his first lap here. He is going to be setting. What does he have? I say he's on the back foot tonight. Let's see. As he comes to the line now, what is it going to be? Albert Tranghese, his first lap of the second qualifying session. It's going to be 1.6 seconds off the time. I think I was correct. Now, as I said before, Albert said it himself. It's a tough one. It's a tough championship. Of course, trying to go back-to-back. Our previous Friday night Season 2 finisher, our Season 2 champion. It's looking tough. It's looking tough, and that is frustration right there out of Albert Tranghese as well. He's trying to push as hard as he can to put a lap together, and he just can't. He just can't match the likes of Nause, and it's devastating. Vinicius gonna be smiling, of course. He is also gonna be quite nervous. Of course, obrigado Brazil. Thank you all out there in Brazil for supporting Vinicius, as well as the stream here tonight. Thank you all for hitting that like and subscribe button and jumping on board with SFRGT Challenge, and look forward to what is to come in the future here. Big things coming very soon, so definitely check out the Sim Grid, link down in the description. Also, of course, our Discord as well. Loads of amazing people. Of course, Rocky Rocco being one of the massive contributors to the community, not able to join us here tonight. Wish you the best, brother, if you are out there listening. And he is out there listening as he jumps in chat as I mention his name. You love to see it. As if he was summoned. Hey, Tranghese, the night's not over yet. The night is not over yet. You still have one more race. Think positive. Look forward to the task at hand. Try to deliver. Vinicius can still disconnect. Vinicius can still crash. Could do exactly what you did last race. You just got to stick with it, and you can still win this championship. It is not over. Joey Raymer in a battle of his own currently. As we look at the standings, once again, this is, of course, before Race 1 tonight. We do not have the live standings, unfortunately, of Race 1. But, as we have it, we do know that Vinicius Doozy is currently leading, because Albert had a DNF. Now, Joey Raymer finished P3, and Jace Wright in P2. So that is going to shake up. Of course, here are the points that are on the line. You can see them in the center of your screen. It's kind of scuffed, I'm not going to lie, but, you know, we do what we can here, unfortunately. But you can see 1 point versus 0, or P1 versus P infinite is a 55-point difference. So Albert currently going to be separated by 47 points on just quick maths, I think. 48 points, maybe. No, that wouldn't make sense. Where would an 8 come from? 47. We'll go with that. Doozy, though. I mean, it is just to be said. Absolutely rapid kid. Devin Anthony managing to send it up to P6. Nice lap for the Rockefeller Racing driver, as well as Marco Saldana. McLaren's coming out strong here at the start of race 2. Where was this in the last one? Though this time around, of course, they do have 45 minutes to contend with. Anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. It's the thing to keep in mind here. Marco will have 2 more laps to put on the board. Rocco from the Rockefeller Racing, supporting his team. You love to see it. Marco can still get a lap in if he wants. He needs to get out there quick, but he still can. Jace Wright, the controller king. Why don't we pop on board with his penultimate lap? See what it's like for a controller driver. The inhuman wrist movements into the first few corners. Darnell supporting the Nameless Racing team. Love to see it. Sending love their way. Jace in the Fuchsia. Big moment. That is not going to help Jace's lap whatsoever, as he is going to continue on, though. He's continuing on the charge. Might just want to give this one up and send it into the next lap, but he's remaining even with his delta, so it's not over yet. Gain to 10th. The lap is still on from Jace, even with that error. That means next lap, he is looking at least a 2/10 improvement if he can hook up that first sector. A little bit of a correction there. It's pretty much to be expected on exit from a controller driver. Oh, so smooth until it isn't. Now the final chicane has been removed from Formula One, thankfully. I know some people, that's a contentious opinion, but I think it is a great choice. Now on to the start-finish straight. Jace Wright, what's it going to be? It's going to be P3, a 3/10 improvement, managing to put in a 1:44.1, and there's still time on the board. In fact, holy smokes, putting in a dead even time with Albert Tranghese down to the 10,000th of a second. Now just for reference, folks, the human eye blinks in 0.2 of a second. That's a lot of difference. That's currently about the gap between Raymer and Cruz. So these two drivers separated by the 10,000ths. Jace Wright, that's going to be the end of his qualifying. And Albert as well. They're going to finish on dead even times. How's it going, Devin? How's it going? You miss your ACC controller day? Oh, wasn't ever. Okay. Why? Wait, why? No offense, but if you have a wheel, it's probably better. But yeah. And huge shout out to the Brazilian community, SOT. Yes, indeed. Obrigado, Brazil. Thank you so much. I probably am not saying that too well, but I'm trying, folks. Up next to the line will be the number 7 driver, not the 78 driver, the number 7 driver of Jelson Cruz in the Rockefeller Racing Porsche 992. Oh, that's going to be, well, aborted. That lap no longer for Jelson. Fikri, what's it going to be as he heads to the line in the Charging Bull with a good improvement? Improves over Marco Saldana. Not enough to overtake Jelson Cruz. Fabiano Rousseau up next. What does he have in the cards? Currently in 9th to the line, up to P5. Nicely done for the SOT Brazilian driver. Now that will be the end of our qualifying. We have 45 minutes on the clock ahead of us, everybody, for these drivers to decide the championship ahead. Currently, Vinicius looking strong. No denying that. It's going to take a miracle for Albert Tranghisi to take the win, but also seeing that 1.7 and 1.7, that is so incredible, down to the 10,000th of a second. Especially, once again, I can't stress, over the course of 2.9 miles, these drivers have lapped identically. That is a testament to the field, for one, and a testament to those two drivers in particular. And Devin also giving information there that they're fighting for P5 overall in the championship between him and Anthony Macho Man Camacho. As we wait for the section to roll on over, you can take a look here at the standings once again. Albert Tranghisi was, keyword was, leading the way heading into this race, though in the final race, I know it's not showed here tonight, on the back foot by quite a margin, Vinicius Duzzi. Going to be confident, but also probably a bit nervous. As the 12-year-old driver, I have no idea how many other leagues this driver has taken part in. I would be nervous if I was in their shoes. But Vinicius, seemingly calm, cool, and collected, able to stick it on pole position without any real issue. Joey Raymer in third, battling with Jace. Anthony Camacho and Devin Anthony, about 5 points separating them from the previous race, or before the previous race. As it stands, it's a bit of a mystery. But the drivers all ready to go. What the heck? Okay, that was weird. We're okay. No idea what just happened. Regardless, the drivers, you can see here, all lined up and eager to go. Why don't we get in and meet them for tonight? As we have it, starting off here in P1 once again, the golden boy, and he's going to try to prove it here tonight in the final race of Season 3 of Friday Night Championship here at SFRGT Challenge, and it's going to be Vinicius Duzzi on pole position for the Brazilian driver. Albert Tranghisi, challenger in P2. The previous champion trying to defend his title on the back foot heading into the finals. Jace Wright also with a battle of his own, currently in P3 ahead of his battle, or his battlee, I don't know. His opponent, Joey Raymer, lined up next to him in P4. Fabiano Rousseau And the other SOT is number 78 Brazilian driver lines up in P5 with Gelson Cruz in the Rockefeller Racing 992, the number 7 in P6. Fikri Azka, the lovely qualifying result, ending up in P7 for the Charging Bull. He has the likes of Marco Saldana behind him in P8, the number 111 Rockefeller Racing McLaren Evo 2. Devin Anthony, P9, the number 664 Rockefeller Racing McLaren, with Anthony Macho Man Camacho behind in P10. The number 14 Audi needs a bit better of a result than that if he wants to stick with Devin Anthony. Colin Sugg in P11, the number 34 driver. Michael Gravelle, number 30 Canadian driver in P12. Jay Davis in P13. Of course, last but not least, the number 8 driver here. Underway in the Nameless Racing Michael Gravelle tribute. Of course, fighting for depression here tonight is the the Nameless Racing. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm not sure if those are the liveries they brought to the cards or not. I think I am missing the proper ones, which I'm really disappointed. I was looking forward to seeing those. We can take a look, though, at, of course, the Rockefeller Racing as the FU Cancer, as well as the Struggle Brings Strength and hashtag Stay Strong. They also representing the fight for depression. Lots of great messages represented over at the Rockefeller Racing team. See, as he gets the heat into his tires and begins the outlap here tonight. We have quite a bit of time before we get underway and quite a bit of time before we reach that checkered flag. Though it will come sooner than we expect. It always flies by when you're having fun. And of course, 13 drivers out there tonight. I think we're going to see some action. Final race of the championship. You can see Albert getting heat into his tires. The biggest thing for Albert, keep a calm, cool in his head. There's nothing he can do at this point in his own right. Battling with Vinicius isn't going to matter. He needs a miracle. He needs to win. So he does need to win. I mean, he needs to win. But he needs something more than that at this point. And Vinicius, I think, confident, as he should be. We have about half the outlap to go. We'll pop on board with Albert here, and we'll hydrate up momentarily. Albert Tranghisi, he's a fighter. And he will put the challenge here tonight to Vinicius. I have no doubt about that. 47 points behind, though. Quite a stretch. But anything can happen in racing. Of course, Albert was leading the championship before the start of this race here tonight, or last race, I should say. But as he stands, not quite. Vinicius Duzzi on pole position, coming around the final quarter now. The drivers, they're lined up 2x2 Noah's Ark formation as we begin our final, finish our final parade lap of the SFRGT Challenge Season 3. Vinicius Duzzi on pole, Albert Tranghisi trying to challenge in P2. I'm Mike Nause in the booth as we get ready to go green, 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 heading now down to the first chicane. It's going to be a smashing start from Jace, immediately putting the challenge to Albert. Albert falling back into P3. Looks like Jace is going to be challenging for the lead of this race into the first corner, though Vinicius closing the door. Inside is shut. Albert forced to the outside. Jace Wright, though, sends it down the middle and takes the lead of this race early on here. What does Vinicius have for the response as we head now through the first chicane? And Jace Wright proving why he is the king. The controller king takes the lead from the SOT driver early on. Now we'll see if he can make that stand, but for right now, what a job. Albert in P3, currently already falling back about half a second off of Vinicius. Needs to really stick with the bumper there and follow him through, as we're going to see an overtake attempt. Vinicius into Sector 2. Now this could be very dangerous, and he does back out. Nicely done and judged for Vinicius. We've seen a lot of laps led from Vinicius. We haven't seen a lot of laps where he is attacking. Now this is going to be it. We see the hot head, or do we see a calm, cool, collected driver that's willing to work with other people? Any racing driver working with somebody else is a miracle. Different lines being taken there, but it looks like neither driver gaining an advantage. Incredible lap one. I have no chance of having a voice. I'm still a little under the weather, everybody. Apologies. So if I sound a little nasally or sniffly, that is, well, why? Vinicius, though, he doesn't need to win this race. That is the thing. He can finish in this position, and the championship's still his. Though, let's be completely honest here. He wants to win this race. Oh, he has a look. Jace takes his line, though, and sticks to it. Goes deep into the first chicane. Now, that's going to really compromise his exit. He's going to have Vinicius all over the back of him, but you can see the nature of that corner really doesn't allow the overtake. Is he going to send it, though, into this corner? Jace taking to the outside. You can see the thought process from Vinicius, but he has patience. He's trying to force Jace into an error, but no beans yet. Now, there are other drivers in this race, I assure you. Jelson Cruz battling with Marco Saldana for P7, side by side. They need to sort this out very quickly, and they do, or that would have been disastrous. Off the track a little bit there goes Jelson, but done and dusted. Actually kept it on the track, so fair play. Completely fair overtake there. Side by side, Vinicius Doozy. Not going to happen. Oh, this is so electric. This is incredible. Jace Wright leading over Vinicius. That is really helping Albert out as well. This could force anyone into an error at any point in time. Now, Jace, of course, we've seen it in the past. He's known to potentially just spin it, of course, being on a controller. I haven't seen that in the past few races, though. I think that he's really honed that talent down and gotten the controller to an absolute level of mastery that is second to none, to be completely honest. In fact, it's even, well, currently better than a wheel if you look at the statistics. But for how long, though? That's the question. How long? Side by side, outside line being taken. Was there contact? It looked like there was. Forced onto the rumble strips there, and a position dropped. No, Vinicius retains P2, but that overtake attempt is thwarted. Thank you, Darnell. Thank you so much. Side by side, there are battles happening on track right now, but I can't take my eyes off of this. This is what everyone wants to be seeing. The championship could be decided at any moment here. All it takes is one crash, one spin from Vinicius and trip into the barrier, and that could be it. We saw it from Albert last round. He's still in the slipstream, doing whatever he can. We're going to ride on board with Vinicius and see what it's like. This is the driver's eye view. This is probably the best seat in the house right now, to be completely honest. Although, I don't know, Albert has a pretty good one himself. Vinicius trying to tip it in. Getting any advantage. You can see, okay, here we go. This is the setup, the alternate line. Can he carry the speed now? The 296 versus the Ferrari, or versus the Evo 2. Inside line being held by Jace Wright. Is he going to change that? No, it looks like he's going to remain firm on the inside. We're going to go with that slipstream. Have to go the long way around here. Pull a Lewis Hamilton in 2007 at Melbourne, and there's contact in the first corner again. Jace Wright and Vinicius Doozy. Vinicius not going to be too thrilled with that, but that's the nature of the outside, unfortunately. More contact. Vinicius is forced off by Albert Tranghisi. He is going backwards. The golden boy Brazilian driver needs to keep it, though, on track and keep it out of the barrier. That is the number one importance, of course. He can even finish in P3. He doesn't need to finish ahead of Tranghese. Vinicius currently on the charge. My goodness, nail biting here. Vinicius into P. It says 4, but I assure you he's in P3. I'm not sure what the timing charts are on there in the bottom right. But now, Vinicius, I know he's gotten all the screen time, but it's hard to not. I apologize to the rest of the drivers in this race. Of course, this is the final race of the championship, and it just could not be closer. Albert Tranghese doing what he can. We're going to take a look here. This is the battle for P5. Devin Anthony holding off Fabiano Rousseau as well as Gelson Cruz. Gelson, I think, started in P7 as a remain. No, he started in P6 and is down a position. Devin Anthony up 4 positions, our biggest winner here at the start. Side by side, looking to make that a 3-position gain is the SOT driver. Fabiano Rousseau, outside line, a little bit of contact. Both drivers managing to keep it under ship shape. Very tight windows being had here. Gelson, back to the inside. Oh, he's so eager. Caution is being had there from Fabiano. Grim, welcome. Barcelona is... I love Barcelona. Of course, it's a test track, so has a little bit of everything. You know, I mean, I guess you have your Paul Ricard, which is a test track, which doesn't have a little bit of everything. It's just kind of a... I don't really like Paul Ricard, I'm just going to be completely honest. But Barcelona is a test track that has a little bit of everything. It has no runoff area, though, and that's the part that I love. Look at this up at front. That's Vinicius Duzzi having a bit of a check out of the slipstream, keeping Albert Tranghese honest. Those two in the battle for the championship lead. Of course, Jace Wright, though, stealing it at the start. I would love to go back and get a race replay. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to just because of the amount of action we're seeing here. But Jace, the controller king, has led this race for almost 15 minutes so far. Vinicius. Inside line is going to be had. Is this the overtake? This should be. What has happened to Devin? Devin is into the pits. Not sure if that is off. Oh, careful. Not sure if that is, it is just okay, strictly into the pits. Fair enough. Very early pit stop to be had there for Devin. Cuna da Silva, welcome, welcome. Obrigado. Appreciate you all for being here. Thank you, Brazilians. Appreciate all of the Brazilians that we have in chat. You guys are amazing. As well as all the Brazilians that we have over at, I know we have a lot of Brazilians that are shared between the two communities, but over at Trackalicious as well. Of course, who am I? I'm the Mike Nause, lead commentator over at Trackalicious, but that is not really neither here nor there. Well, we have a moment, I guess, to talk about it. We'll send a quick little link here in the chat for if you are interested, you want to see more of me. You can find me over twitch.tv/Trackalicious, lead commentator over there. I enjoy the Discord. If you also want to have a nice little chat and pop around time to time, feel free to pop in if I'm just in one of the chill channels. Love to chat with all the people. Back at it. Vinicius has been tame. For our championship leader currently, has been very tame. Especially with the likes of Albert in front. You know, if I was Vinicius, you could just give him just one little, you know, oops, I missed my braking zone, right? And now all of a sudden the championship's guaranteed yours. Wink, wink. Uh-oh. Okay, let's not say anything. Let's not... Okay, but Albert Tranghese, under threat, didn't get the inside closed off in time. We're going to go down the inside. Vinicius Duzzi is not late enough onto the brakes. Oh, but Albert has a moment mid-corner off to the runoff area. And that's that. Vinicius Doozy is by. Albert Tranghisi going to lose the position to Joey Raymer as well. And there's Albert immediately to take the position back, saying, no, no, no. I have a championship that I still want to win. I need a race win here tonight. And, well, Vinicius needs to be a little bit further down the field than he currently is, but unfortunately that is only a dream for Albert and not something that he can really make a reality himself. I mean, like I say, he can, but, you know, wink, wink. But, no, I'm not advocating that at all. Don't do that, please. Jace, though, gotta be said. I mean, I don't expect Jace to hold this position. No offense to Jace, right? I don't think Jace expects to hold this position, to be completely honest. He's doing an amazing job, though. That's really all that it is to be said. Putting in the work, putting in the effort, and lap after lap, 144.9, that's not the pace that you need to win this race, but it is the pace you need for right now to be leading, and that's all Jace can do, and he's just going to keep plugging in lap after lap, and hey, if he can keep Vinicius behind, I think Jace needs to go maybe for an undercut if he wants a chance. I think if Vinicius gets into the pits first, I don't know, man. I think as soon as we... it's such a hard call, because Vinicius can just do the opposite, and I think no matter what Vinicius does, it's just going to be better than Jace. No, once again, no offense to Jace. It's honestly more credit that Jace is up here in the first place. He's doing an incredible job. Yellow flags in from Devin Anthony. Uh-oh. What has happened? This is a rejoin. Okay. Oh. Just McLaren things, huh? You hate to see it. Very unfortunate there for Devin Anthony. Puts him back at the back of the field. McLaren meet Curb. Yes, Curb meet McLaren. They are not good friends, it turns out. They absolutely hate each other. Who would have thought? Jace Wright. You can see how much work he has to put in to keep this position. Defensive onto the inside. Forcing the outside again for Vinicius. Vinicius going to tuck out of the slipstream extremely late. Jace squeezing over to the racing line. They're both late. No, they're both good. It's just the nature of that corner is it's very fast. Jace gets a moment, though, mid-corner. He takes the Pirelli board with him. Is this going to affect his run? Jace Wright finally vulnerable? No. Vinicius not able to capitalize. That was what he was waiting for, too. Vinicius, though, with fire in his heart and the knowledge that the championship is secure if he doesn't make the overtake, also probably pretty good for him. He just needs to not do anything too bold. Although I bet he wants to win this race. You have to finish the championship with the race win, right? It's not a full championship if you don't finish with the race win. Once again, here we go. Outside line, late on the brakes, but no, he's just a little earlier. Goes and drives off the track. Please back out of this. No, Vinicius, oh my goodness. Well, the stewards are going to be having a look at that, I presume, as a full off-the-track pass. I definitely think that Vinicius should be giving that back up, but also I think Vinicius is like, oh no, 5-second penalty. What am I ever going to do? I'm going to be honest, he probably gained more time from that move than he did lose it, so, you know. Was it rude? Sure. In a championship battle, though, I get it. Jace's not going to be too happy with it. And Albert, he sat watching. This is not where he wants to be. But it's all, I mean, like I say, it's all he can do right now. He needs a miracle. Vinicius needs to get a stop, go 30. That would be good for Albert. Drive-through would be nice. I don't know if a drive-through would even do it. Heck, I don't even know if a stop, go 30 would do it. In fact, I think the only thing that can do it is a disconnect, if I'm not mistaken. Because there's 47 points separating them, and I don't think there's 47 points. We can take a look. We can math it out real quick. Not too much happening on track currently. We can take a look at the points distribution. So P1 getting 55, and P last, which is 13, getting 17. Yes. Vinicius can get P12. He has to get P12. So, a stop go 30, pretty much required, plus a bit more. It's going to be tough. Not looking likely. Fastest lap there being set from Vinicius Nause. Just to add insult to injury, why not? That unfortunately was our closest battle on track as well. I gotta say, that was entertaining watching Jace Wright hold up Vinicius for that long of a time. Now Jace, though, has a new dog in the house. It's Albert Tranghisi. Oh, well, okay, he's coming. When he's not driving a little bit wide and, you know, taking a joker lap, he'll be there. As we wait for that, Jay Davis, currently sitting in P10, with Colin Sugg half a second ahead, the AMG car that we haven't seen so much since the 1.9 update, but I will say, as of late, it's seen a bit of a resurgence, especially the GT4 AMG. Now, once again, that was Colin Sugg taking the Tranghisi line. Not quite optimal in its sense, but it's a line that exists. But Jay, though, keeping him honest, of course, that was going to be his best opportunity. Unfortunately, Jay just not close enough to really close that window up and capitalize and go for it. I mean, that was the real difference, is the exit there of that chicane. If you can nail the exit of the first chicane, which is such a tricky thing to do, I mean, you're going to gain time. Shocker, if you get a corner right, you gain time. That's, yeah, yada yada. But anyways, no, in all seriousness, Barcelona is a very tough track. And the corners have a level of mastery to them rather than a level of... it's one thing... These corners are easy to learn, hard to master sort of thing, I guess, is for the cliche analogy. A very tough track, though, to master. Especially that first sector. You can gain so much time there, as well as Sector 3. It's so easy to lose time, nevertheless. I mean, gaining time is tough. But losing time is so easy in Sector 3, even in Sector 1. And Jay and Colin, pretty good pace buddies as it stands. Really managing to match each other's lap times there. Almost down to the T, about 0.2 separating them. A nice blink of an eye. But we are seeing a little bit of a repeat from what we saw in Race 1. Vinicius Nause, 5.5 seconds over Jace Wright already. That is only going to grow, especially if Albert Tranghisi has anything to say about it. Albert going to be trying to hinder the time there even a little bit more, I presume. Once that P2, it's getting a little bit late. No headlights on for the likes of the 296. Maybe going for the Phantom Send. course, what does the Phantom send? Well, that's when it's pitch black, you're at a night race, and you decide to turn your headlights off and send it up the inside of someone. Typically not banned in most series, but heavily frowned upon. That is Jace right into the pits, making his one mandatory stop for the night. Hopefully he managed to get that slowed down in time. Behind him is Fabiano Rousseau. Jay Davis, next closest battle with Colin Sugg. 1.5 seconds is the gap there. Also, that Lambo is putting in work. Yes, it is. I know that was a little bit earlier when he was leading the race, but yeah, Jace is just such an improved driver, and especially with the controller, it is so hard to put into I mean, just how the caliber of drivers around him, and he is driving with a gamepad. He's getting a wheel suit. He's getting a nice Moses setup. So with some top-notch equipment coming his way, certainly we are going to see some more pace out of Jace Wright. We have not seen the pinnacle of the... well, let's say this. We may have seen the pinnacle of the controller king, but what is to come for Jace Wright in the future, we have no idea. Fabiano Rousseau, drive-through penalty being picked up. The Spirit Onyx team, not going to be too happy about it. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But a drive-through here at Barcelona, that's going to pick you up a good 30 seconds. You're going to be going through the pit lane. In fact, about exactly 30 seconds it'll take to go from pit entry all the way down. Not the longest track, not the shortest track, though, either. Of course, this has one of the older pit lane... not really. It doesn't have really an older pit lane entry or exit. The exit's a bit sketchy. You're sort of rejoining into the firing line, and you have to... well, you're rejoining into a very unoptimal line where you have to quickly get back into the firing line. So it can be a bit awkward. You can see some collisions here at Barcelona out of the pit exit. Pit entry, fairly safe. It's just hard to see the lines, especially if the league has rules on keeping it between the mayo and the mustard, especially the pit ones. That can be a bit of a challenge. But for most drivers, your experienced drivers that have obviously put in the practice, you're not going to see that too much. This is Jay Davis. Currently, very close. Rubbing a hole into the back of Colin Sugg, in fact. Seeing if he can dispatch that AMG. So far, not much happening. Now, Jay and Colin, these two have been together before on the track. Neither of them have made a pit stop. Looking at the pit timings, we're seeing split decisions as well. I see Jace took tires. Albert Tranghese did not. As a result, Albert Tranghese is now ahead of Jace Wright. Now, with 20 minutes left in this race, is Jace going to be the dark horse at the end? And no way. Okay, never mind. I had a mild heart attack. I thought Vinicius Duzzi disconnected. Flash of the headlights from Vinicius. You love to see it. To show his love and appreciation. But I thought he disconnected. He just went... he plummeted down the time charts all of a sudden, and that just scared me. There was no way. I thought... and there is no way. You're right. You're right, Mike. I'm talking to myself here. Come on. crazy guy here in the booth. Thank you all, though, for tuning in. Thank you all for listening, of course, and anyone watching the VOD back. You guys are awesome. Thank you for hitting that like button and hitting the subscribe as well. We're up to 140 subscribers here at SFRGT Challenge. I wish I had known what we were. In fact, I probably can check. Before we had started this league. And thank you all for this journey. It's been an awesome journey throughout these 8 races. Of course, unfortunately, had to miss last week. I was in Atlanta. And as I said before, I'm not sure if the drivers are thankful or not that I missed that race. But if I was one of the drivers, I might be a little thankful that I wasn't catch, because I did catch wind that that was an abysmal race. At least in terms of contact. It was wet Monza, and turn 1 went about as well as you would expect with nobody making it through. Maybe not nobody. Let's not go that harsh, but it was red flag. Safety car, but not tonight. No safety cars tonight. Barcelona. Ooh, Anthony, nicely done. Slips by Colin Sugg after the pit lane. Anthony taking fresh tires. Colin not going to. Or didn't, rather. But as the field spreads now, because the pit stops are underway, we are seeing a bit of a field separation. Jace Wright behind Joey Raymer now. Now, of course, Joey was ahead before the pit phase. Interesting. Okay. Joey was ahead before the pit phase, but as a result, Jace Wright taking tires, he has dropped behind. But on that fresh rubber, oh my goodness. Vinicius Doozy with a stop-go 30. Albert Tranghisi, his mouth is now salivating like he just saw the freshest cut of a T-bone steak. Oh my goodness, Albert, the championship is back. It's on. Now, I'm not sure a stop-go 30 is enough, but it's a start. It's what he needed. Albert, he needs more. He needs to gain some positions here. And he will. He's going to take the lead of this race. Due to the fact that Jace Wright took that pit stop, Albert, on fresh tires, is looking like he's going to win race 2 here. And if Vinicius takes P last, I think Albert will still be in the lead of the, well, rather, will take back the lead of this championship. This is going to come down to the final lap, everybody. Well, actually, it's going to come down to the next few laps. It'll come down to the final lap. No, really, it will. This is going to be all about Vinicius and what he has left in the tank. I think this... Oh, my. I don't know what's about to happen, everyone. I have no idea. Buckle your seatbelts because it's about to get intense. Jace Wright also battling with his championship rival, Joey Raymer. This is for the podium positions for a top-notch Coach Dave CDA setup. Oh, he's trying to get the better line on the exit. Goes wide. Now on to the start-finish straight, trying to carry his momentum. The inside line is wide open. Is Joey going to cover it? No. Allows Jace to have it. Tucks to the racing line. Inside being held for Jace. Late on the brakes, and that is a textbook overtake. The line was handed there to Jace Wright. Almost no defensive attempt there from Joey Raymer. And Jace going to walk away smiling after that. Albert Tranghisi, I think he is the one that's going to have the biggest grin on his face, though. Where is Vinicius going to come out at the back of the field? No question. He is going to be miles behind. Yes, you're right, actually, Darnell, now that you mention it. Because Albert... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Albert... I don't know what the rule is here for laps completed. I mean, oh, this is going to be so tough to call. I wish I could call the championship here tonight, but it seems like I won't be able to. Seems like the championship is going to come down to a bit of a math finish. as I just try to do the math in my head as well, which is always never going to be a good idea, let's be completely honest. I don't know if anyone in chat has worked it out, or can work it out, what is needed here. Because he needs 47 points. Assuming, yeah, because it's a, ooh, no. Fishing in P, oh my goodness, this is so complicated. Fishing in P13 will net you. So yes. If, oh my goodness, if this championship gets decided because Albert didn't finish enough laps, he's going to be devastated. What is point P13? Let's take a look. Let's take a look here at the standings. So, this is our standings as of before we entered the previous race, race 1 of tonight, and Albert leading the way at 304 compared to 97 points from Vinicius. These are the points on offer tonight. First position, 55 points. P13 getting 17. So as I go back to working that out, and I'm working out that I'm not going to be able to work it out, that's the 2 and 2 that I'm getting here from my brain. I am going to be so disappointed, not in Albert, but for Albert, if, I always say, you bring it to the checkered flag, you never know what's going to happen, and you always finish your races. And that might have been a perfect example of why, folks. We might see a championship decided off of that. Yes, unless, see, the thing is with the 47 points, unless Albert finished, then you can add 17 points to that 47. So it all comes down to whether or not Albert Tranghisi finished enough. I need to know. See, I gotta find it. We gotta find it. We got 11 minutes left to go. We have to find this. This is gonna absolutely bother the heck out of me. I can't wait to check SimGrid. Is there any way I can find this? This is such a niche thing to try to find, too. The Joey Raymer. Currently, most of the battles on track are spread quite far, to be honest. We're looking like the order that we're in right now is more than likely going to be the order we finish in, barring a position or two. I think we might see a couple more battles. Got me here to do the check. Oh, yeah, well, let's go, Grim. In the description, there's a link to all of the, or to our championship, so I think all the information can be found there. But I'm trying to find if it's more than, I don't even know if it's going to be in here. Yeah, I don't see any, there's nothing in the rules saying, at least, it'd probably be in the SFRGT challenge rules. I'd probably have to check the rule book in general, which, to be completely honest, I've never read from here, which, oh, naughty, yes, okay, maybe so. I should probably read the rule book here. I've read a lot of rule books, don't get me wrong, but I have not read this specific one here, which is a bit of a, yeah, I should. Okay, that's the rules to the server. I'm not finding the rules to the league, though. Rocky, I don't know if you're around. I understand if you're not. It's just bothering me. Where the heck are the rules for the dang races? I can't find it. Okay, anyways, I am struggling to find it, unfortunately. But it is going to come down to that. 75% rule. Yeah, right. That's Darnell, that's what I would assume. That's what we run over at Trackalicious. But I also don't like to assume, because that can make a you-know-what out of you and me. So we don't do that here. We like to go for facts. And I am not going to bank a championship on that. Though I would really like to know. I'm going to message Rocky's away. He's not going. I'm not going to message Rocky. Could message Albert Trangisi, one of the league admins, but he's currently, well, he's got better things to be doing, so that's not going to happen either. That is what it is, folks. We'll find out here tonight. Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. That's going to be the real thing. It is what it is. And out of all of the possibilities that could have happened here tonight, I don't think anyone could have expected this championship to go the way that it has. Awesome. All right, Darnell. Appreciate it. We'll see if we can get to the bottom of this before the next 7 minutes and 47 seconds. I hope we can. Then also, I need to find out how many laps he complete. That's the other thing, is I don't actually know how many laps were complete. But we can find that out afterwards. That's not hard to do. That is the easy thing to do. It's finding the rules. That's the hard part. Why is there no... I'm just trying to find... There's no rules. Why am I cannot find the rules? I'm sure there's... I know there's a driver's briefing. I just haven't... I'm not familiar enough with the SFRGT challenge. Anyways. I'm going to get back to commentating. Rosa, welcome. Here to support Vinicius Doozy, potentially take the championship. Oh. Never mind, everybody. Vinicius is going to be getting it regardless. Oh, well, I feel like a dummy now. Vinicius is in P9, everyone. He's not in P13. That changes absolutely everything. Taking a look at the points, he will be receiving 25, which will guarantee... I say that. Honestly, I can't say guarantee. But I think that is that. I'm pretty sure Vinicius will be our champion. But I don't know. Wait. Oh, this is so hard in math. Even with the... I'm trying to account for him... I'm just trying to account that, let's say Albert finished the race. He would have received 17 points. 47. Vinicius, oh my goodness, this is so hard. 55. Closes him, but then, oh, it's not enough, is it? It's not enough. It's not enough. I think Vinicius has the championship under his belt. I think regardless of the 75% rule, Vinicius will be taking it. Now, if he makes the overtake on Jay Davis, that will be even more of an easy... if he makes it up on Anthony, he definitely does, but... This has just been literally like, I apologize, chat. It's been like 8 minutes of me just racking my brain trying to do math, and the answer is I don't know. We could have just settled on that about 8 minutes ago. We'll stick with Vinicius Doozy. The golden boy. Maybe got a little too eager with the pit entries here tonight. Does fastest lap award us points too? That's something I've completely left out of the equation. I think fastest lap does get a point, don't they? Which, if that's the case, then let's see. Wasn't it 5? Was it 5 points or 2 points for fastest lap? I do remember this coming up at one point. It's a shame that the golden boy had to stop go 30, but yep, each race is a learning experience. Couldn't have said it better myself, Rosa. Rosa. Well, once again, obrigado, obrigado, Brazil. Thank you all so much for watching. I am an American and am not fluent in Portuguese. I do apologize, everybody. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I have a massive love for the Brazilian community. I'd love to go down there someday. The energy that Brazil brings to the table, you guys are amazing. Vinicius has closed up the gap to Anthony Camacho. This will put him into P7. Means he'll be finishing with 31 points. And yeah, that should do it. P8 is 28. You're separating by 2. Yes. 17 points or not, Vinicius Doozy will be our champion, everybody. Assuming we finished in this order. So any position that Vinicius gains is only going to be adding to the crown. I'm sure he wanted the race win, everybody, but hey, you settle with what you can get. What a championship it's been. Once again, thank you all so much for taking part of this with me. I'm Mike Nause. A lot of you guys have been here from the beginning, supporting. I know a lot of you guys joined in the middle. Vinicius joined in the middle. He joined in race 3. And still able to compete for the championship and take the win is just a true testament to this kid's speed. It's something else. The talent, the speed, the patience, the determination. Vinicius Doozy, he's got it all. And the 12-year-old, that is very rare. And as I said earlier, and I'll say it again, I definitely would expect to see Vinicius Doozy, this name, show up in esports in the near future. If not the near future, at least when he's able to compete. Because holding Vinicius back from that career would just be insane. I mean, this is talent. This is a true talent. Not everybody has this. I know people say you can learn skills, but there's also skills that you're born with. Of course, you can learn anything. We're humans, we can learn anything, but also Vinicius, there's something else there. There is most certainly something else there. As he begins his final lap tonight, Albert Tranghisi leading us away here. So close, yet so far for Albert Tranghisi. Championship down to the very end, and it's not going to finish by much. The difference, as soon as it is scored, will not be much, but I am pretty sure that Vinicius Doozy has taken the win. Once again, this is the unofficial results, everybody, but regardless, as it stands, Albert Tranghisi did the best he possibly could, takes the race final lap. We're going to try that again, everybody. Not yet. Hold your applause. Hold your applause. I messed the timing up. There's one more lap. My bad. We'll try that again. Thank you, though, Darnell. And I should be back next year for Season 4. So definitely look forward to having me back in the booth. We'll see if I have company next time. That would be nice. That's for sure. See if I can arrange that. But Albert, give him his parade lap. No battles happening on track currently. This is all the action ahead of us, our race leader. And once again, Albert Tranghese, he's put in the best he possibly can. We'll take a look at the standings real quick. He's won race 1, won race 3, but as soon as Vinicius joined, you can see it's P2, P3. Wasn't able to make race 5. That was his drop round. And P2 and P2, Vinicius has just been the thorn in the side with 3 races in a row. A hat trick in the middle of the season. That's tough to contend with. But Albert Tranghese, once again, we'll try this again because I had to. Anyways, as he comes through the penultimate corner now, or getting to come up to the penultimate corner, the chicane, and 1 left to go. He has led the final laps of this race. Pulls off to the side. He's not out of fuel. What's he doing? He's just getting Jace to catch up. Okay. Coming across the line, Albert Tranghese takes the race win tonight. Jace Wright with an amazing P2. Great effort from the controller king and a great season as well. Joey Raymer, I'm not sure he's going to have enough there to retain P2 in the championship. Jace may have overtaken him, but it's going to be close. Once again, definitely check SimGrid after this, after the results are up. So I have no idea when the results will be up, unfortunately, but they'll be posted in Discord, so definitely keep an eye there. Jelson Cruz in 4th, Fikri Azka in 5th, Marco Saldana in 6th, but the one and only, the golden boy, our championship finisher here, our championship winner, Vinicius Doozy, comes across the line for P7, but that should be enough, if I'm not mistaken. He should have the championship. Vinicius Doozy, what a drive it's been. Comes home in 7th this time around. Anthony Macho Man Camacho, 8th position for him. Jay Davis in 9th. Colin Sugg in 10th. Fabiano Rousseau in 11th. Michael Gravelle in 12th. And Devin Anthony in P13. What a season, everybody. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. Thank you all for hitting that subscribe button. And if you guys are looking forward to Season 4, definitely be subscribed, hit that bell notification button to get notified when we go live, as well as anything else we do in the near future if anything does show up. Big congratulations to Vinicius and Albert. Once again, I'm not going to say firmly who won. I'm pretty sure it was Vinicius that took the win. That is the unofficial call by me. Leave that to SimGrid when the results get decided. Obviously, this is pre-penalties. If any penalties get applied, that will take that. This is the unofficial results, though. I think Vinicius Doozy is our championship winner tonight. Once again, though, Albert Tranghese, hands together, I guess. Round of applause for Tranghese for putting up the fight throughout the entirety of the championship. He did everything he could. At the end of the day, it just unfortunately wasn't enough. And nonetheless, that will still be a P2 in the championship, which means it will be receiving a full top-notch CDA setup thanks to Coach Dave. Also, once again, thank you so much to Coach Dave Academy. Thank you to SimGrid, and thank you to Sim staff for this championship that we have. Of course, SimGrid, or CDA, providing the top-notch setup bundles, SimGrid providing us with our amazing results, and also Sim staff jumping on board very recently here. If you are looking to set up any sorts of events in the near future, SimStaff is a global powerhouse for staffing solutions in the world of digital motorsports, sim racing, and esports. Whether your brand seeks short-term freelance professionals, full-time contracted experts, or top-tier technical support, we've got you covered over at simstaff.net. Thank you all so much for a wonderful season once again. It's been absolutely amazing. Jace, hope I gave you some good content in that first stint. Yes, you did, Jace. Good content all around throughout the season. It's been incredible. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world, and I cannot wait to be back for the SFRGT Challenge Season 4 Friday night. Thank you, and good night.